Hello, how are you? Edwin Dearborn, and I want to take this quick moment to share with you my top branding and marketing insight. And this comes about from the last 24 hours. Two events really solidified this observation. I was teaching a class today to about 15 realtors and business people in Las Vegas, small select group I was asked to speak at. And then yesterday, I was asked to intervene on a business whose sales in the last 5 or 6 years have dropped by 90%. That's right, 90%, and are barely hanging on. I won't get into the name of the company that's barely hanging on because they wouldn't appreciate it, and I'm still in negotiations to help them. But with this individual yesterday and this group today, it became very clear what the biggest barrier and challenge is in branding and marketing. Now, business people will tell you that it's a budget, but it's not budget. I'm going to tell you the real reason. It's fear of change. Because for you to move into today's world of branding and marketing is going to require an incredible amount of willingness to change so that you can learn new skills and abilities. Digital marketing, digital branding, video marketing, email marketing, Facebook marketing. These are things that were not really on the playing field even 8-10 years ago. Literally, the world, the business world in the last few years has gone through major revolutions at a speed that's so fast that it's just left people in the dust in overwhelm. The class today that I taught to these dozen plus individuals, I went over them. I said, look, you're going to be moving in this new world and you've got a part of your mind that's going to resist it. You're not going to want to do it. You're going to take all the notes. You're going to get motivated to do it. But when the moment comes to execute, your fear is going to overcome you. And this is very real to people because it's not like I'm the first person to try to get them to do any digital marketing. So why haven't they done it? Facebook's been around for 12 years. Why are they still not marketing on Facebook? YouTube has been around for 10 years. Why aren't they creating videos? Blogging has been around for over 10 years. Why aren't they blogging? It's not a lack of technology. It's not a lack of opportunities to reach into this digital marketing place. It's not a lack of courses or even tools such as your iPhone, which I'm using right now, to go Facebook Live. These are not the problems. And they will tell you that, well, I don't know how, I don't have the money, I don't know if it's a right fit for us, or, we're still talking about it. But really what it comes down to is the fear of change. Yesterday, with the company that I was with, the younger individuals saw the obviousness of the fact that they, one, had no marketing plan, two, were doing absolutely no brand presence on email, even though they had a massive list. They were doing no Facebook marketing. They were doing no social media outreach. I mean, it was as if Facebook and digital marketing never arrived. There was zero adaptation, zero deployment. And this was a company that 6 or 7 years ago was doing $12 million in sales annually. And they're going to be lucky this year to break 1 million. And I basically said, what happened is, I told them, well, what happened? I go, when the economy crashed in 2008, the world changed. People went to Facebook and YouTube to see how these formats could help them re-engineer, rebrand, after the disaster occurred. And I go, what happened is you guys stayed still, acting as if it's still 2007, 2006, where everybody's got a lot of money. They're not on digital media. And in the last 10 years, the economy has changed. Consumers have become more savvy. They're not reading newspapers. They're not watching as much television. They're not, they're on mobile devices. And you stood still. And you took zero action in the ways that consumers are consuming content, finding brands, and factually, your consumers are as smart or smarter than your salespeople because they know how to research. They know how to Google things. They know how to look for reviews. They can watch product demos on YouTube. And you stood still and you're quickly becoming a pterodactyl and you're about to be in a museum of dead things. Your brand is dying because you did not adapt. And you did not adapt because you were afraid of this, and what if this doesn't work, and what if we do it wrong? So you never learn the new skill sets. This is the greatest insight. So I now don't talk about budgets until I talk about their willingness to change. This is the big insight, and I really want you to get this. If you're trying to get somebody to market in this era, and the era is dramatically different than it was 5 or 10 years ago, I mean dramatically. If I could teleport you back into time 10 years ago, you would see no one on an iPhone. You would see BlackBerries, and you would not see the level of influence of social media today. And that different environment and those different consumer habits is why most brands don't connect with people, because they're not communicating and engaging in the means in which the audience is. So there's a disconnect. And to make that connect, you've got to skill up, read, and change and learn new things. And there's a part of the mind that resists learning and doing things in a different way. It challenges your ego because as you learn these new things, you have to eat humble pie because you will make mistakes. You will look odd on video. You will maybe deploy incorrectly. You may, bumble and stumble along. Of course, you're learning something new. You learn how to ride a motorcycle your first time. It's going to hurt. You may fall off the motorcycle. Or riding a bicycle, or hang gliding, or painting. It doesn't matter what skill, or playing guitar. You're going to suck at it in the beginning. And most people don't want to look like fools. So what they do is they stay in their old ways. They'd rather stay in their old ways than look foolish while learning new skills. That's a fact. So here's my insight. If you're dealing with a business person that's not adapting to the ways and means in which the world communicates and operates with businesses today, you dig down and I'll tell you, there is a big factor of fear and an unwillingness to change because of it. Once they overcome their own mental reservations, their own fear of failure, their own unwillingness to try and learn something new and eat some humble pie, the minute they can overcome that in themselves and begin to do something, then they will make the transition, and eventually they'll get addicted and excited and they'll continue to grow. And now all of a sudden the brand is communicating in the means and ways that it should. And I'm telling you, it's not a small insight at all what I just shared with you. It is huge. You'll find that it will pan out with anybody that you're talking to. And the minute we talked about the fear, all of a sudden, the budget and the tools did not become that big of a barrier. Because the biggest challenge is the willingness to change. That's the biggest challenge. That's 90% of the battle. And once that person makes that decision and that commitment to actually modernize their skill sets, guess what happens? All of a sudden, they find the means and the ways to begin doing it. So it's not money that's the barrier. Money is a challenge. Money is a factor in managing the marketing, no question. But it is not the ultimate stop. The ultimate stop is us not willing to change, increase our skills, learn how to do it better, reiterate, keep deploying, staying persistent until we start to do a good job at it. That's the barrier. Hope you found this of insight. I hope you found it valuable. Edwin Dearborn, author of Power Branding Secrets. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.